Hey Slutly, I'm Blended. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today we're going to do a little blue blend. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Long time no actual me in not a sound on the video. So today I wanted to do a nice little blue moment. I am obsessed with this look. One day I was just like, oh, let me try this. So I'm using the Moonslice Beauty Blue Moon palette. And there's not any shade names in this palette. So to start out, I'm just going to go ahead and take the darkest blue right here. And I am going to apply it into the crease and the outer corner area of my eye. I'm going to take my ABH A14 brush and just get that ready. So I'm just going to take it and pop it on. For this, I'm just doing little patting motions and getting it nice and packed down. For this look, I am almost convinced that if you do not have this palette, but you have the Blends palette by Blend Bunny Cosmetics, you could just use that because I'm going to go into a few shades of that as well. Because I just cannot stay out of the pastel shades. They are my favorite. Okay, so I'm kind of doing like more of a C shape for this. That way we could just have a little bit of depth, and then we're going to add a little bit of a black to build up some smokiness and create like a darker, smokier blue. But when it's blended, it's just like, ugh. Alright, so next up I'm taking my Sigma E25 brush, and I'm going into this more true blue shade here. And I'm going to blend out the dark blue. So how I'm going to do this is I'm just going to get it on the brush and tap off the excess. I'm going to right pretty much on top of the dark blue. Kind of go back and forth blending it. Because the shape that I'm going for is more of a rounded shape and not all the way up to the brow bone. I did end up taking it up a little bit higher than I did the first time that I did this look, but I'm trying really, really hard just to keep a nice rounded eye shape. And I'm going to take this shade a little bit farther into the crease than I did the first shade. We are going to lose a little bit of the pigment of the darkest blue, but we're going to go in and touch it up. But I feel like this gives a nicer blend. So this is where the fun starts. Well, it's already started, but for me, I love to use the Blends palette, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump into this bad boy, and I'm going to take the shade Bubble Bath, which is a absolutely beautiful pastel light baby blue. So I'm going to take that on my brush that I can never remember the name of. It is the LaRousse LR005 tapered blending brush. It is so, I don't know why it's so hard for me to say all that, but for some reason it is. So I'm going to get a little bit of Bubble Bath. It's so cute. And I'm going to do little baby blends and just kind of blend out that darker blue just to soften it right on top of that blue like we did with the transition into the second shade that we used. And I'm also going to run this into the crease, more towards the inner corner of my eye area. Do you see how pretty that light blue is? The reason why I did it like this is because in the Blue Moon palette, it has a lighter blue like this, but it has some sparkly reflex in it. And I wasn't really feeling that when I did this look the first time. So I just wanted to bust out like a pastel blue for this. It really does feel so good to actually get to sit down and film and talk. I was sick for a week and a half. My allergies were acting up, and then I think that I just got some little crud on top of it. So I was very stuffed up and I was coughing a lot. My voice was very, very messed up. I hate my voice anyway, but like and it's still not all the way back to normal, but it's much better than it was. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can finally film again. So that's what I'm doing today. So I'm gonna go back into the Moonslice palette, and I am going to take that second blue that we used, the more true blue, and I'm going to bring that color back up, the pigment, get it built right back up. And it just blends so well. Have you tried Moonslice Beauty? I had a video, I'll try to remember to link it like in the card, but I had a video that I did where I had got one of their mystery boxes, and I really, oh my gosh, I have to like check that video out if you're interested. But I will give a little spoiler. I got my blush palette from them out of that, and I don't know where I've set it. Anyway, I'll get to that later, but I got a cute blush palette and some lipsticks, or no, two lip glosses. I love them so much. Alright, so now I'm going to take my ABH A14 brush and go back into that darkest blue shade and give it a nice little blender. Back and forth windshield wiper motions with the lightest amount of pressure for the most seamless blend possible. Okay, I should know better than to act like I'm singing, because in my last video that I uploaded, I did a little fake singing for everyone, and I'm sure that everyone was like, okay, I'm leaving this video after that, because I did it twice, but it was funny. So now I'm going to go into the blends palette and go into Nevermore on the ColourPop E10 brush. I'm going to stick it down in there, and I'm going to create a little bit of depth right about on the outer fourth bit, more onto my eyeball area of my lid, if that makes sense, like right on the ball of the lid. And I'm going to blend it with that dark blue shade and kind of run it into the deep crease as well. I have sparkles on it. Ah! I'm just doing little patting motions to make sure that I'm getting that color built up. With the blends palette, it does not take much because very pigmented and blends like a dream. Now, I do believe they're still doing pre-orders. I do not have a code, maybe one day, but as of right now, I do not have a code. So there's some of my friends have codes, but if you want this palette, I do believe they are doing pre-orders, so definitely pick it up if you have not already, because it, in my opinion, is a must-have. So I'm going to go back into the Blue Moon palette with the ABH A14 brush, and I am going to just go ahead and give that a nice little blend. Little baby blend. I know I've said before that I have wanted to show you my cat, my baby boy. When I say baby blends, I think of him. I really should do that sometime. I need to get my room more organized so he can just come chill on the couch in here. He likes to do that, but he also loves to scratch it, and it's like, I don't mind that at all. That's what cats are going to do. They're going to scratch things. But when I'm filming, I don't want you to hear like pop, pop, pop in the background from him doing his little... That was about the most perfect timing that I could have had when it comes to my camera cutting off. I was looking, and then I noticed, because it went and then it was in the back, and it was like, that it stopped. So I was like, woohoo, I caught it. So I'm going to take, I do not really use P. Louise. My husband, I did want a couple of bases from them at one point, and my husband had got me them for Christmas like that year. So I'm using the P. Louise Basic Cosmetic Base, and it is in the shade Touch of Frost. I've heard some things about the brand, and I don't really agree with them, but this was the only thing that I had that worked for what I needed it to do. I planned on doing a video about this, but I really don't want to just completely like be an asshole. But I have the Beauty Creations Cosmetics Color Base Primer, and this is Fresh Aqua, and I feel like it would work, but I did a look yesterday and I used it to cut my crease like I'm about to do, and it creased really bad, and it was just like you were applying powder onto something wet. It caked, it creased. Not all of those bases that I've tried are like that, because I've tried some of them, but they're very hit or miss, so I was pretty not happy with my purchase with that. That was a very irresponsible purchase at that, so I was just like, cool. But anyway, I am taking that P. Louise base and the It's Like Clean Makeup and Frivolous Cosmetics brush. This is the Pro, wiped off name, Pro 02M, I do believe. So it's just a nice little flat brush. And I'm going to cut the crease. I'm not using micellar water for this because the shade on the lid is blue, the base is blue. So I'm not so concerned with that. I felt like this was like an elegant mess anyway. Quite messy. I feel like it's been a hot minute since I have mentioned any new music that I've stumbled upon and fell in love with. So I feel like this is the perfect time while I'm just applying this base down to talk about something for just a second. But, okay, so I don't really listen to the radio. There's not any stations in my area that plays pop punk, so I don't listen to the radio. So TikTok is how I find new music. And Olivia Rodrigo, the Sour album, is a banger. I am obsessed. I bought the album because I had, what was that one? It wasn't Driver's License, it was the second one. Hold on, let me pull that up real quick and see. It was, oh my gosh, I have everything in front of it. Okay. That was Good For You. That one is, wait, no, it was Deja Vu. And then I heard Good For You and I was like, what? I love it. So then I bought the album, and you know what? Hope You're Okay did not have to do me the way that it did. I'm telling you, I was about to cry when I listened to that song. Hit me right in the feelers, okay? So now I'm going to go into my absolute favorite shimmers in the entire world. My Clionadh Cosmetics shimmers. I'm going to take Crown Jewel because when I have Crown Jewel on my lid, you cannot tell me anything because I'm 100% that girl. So I'm going to take my Luxie Small Shader Brush and go into Crown Jewel and just start to apply it all over the base. But I'm not going to take it all of the way. I'm going to leave about 1/4 of the base blank so that I can add another Clionadh shade. So I'm just kind of patting it down. Do you see the absolute beauty that this is? This is just breathtaking. This is like the showstopper right here. And another thing in watching TV wise, well, watching YouTube wise, I have been obsessed with like the Frenemies podcast and just H3 After Dark, H3 Off the Rails. Like their podcast has really like helped me out a lot in this last couple of months. So I get so excited to find out when there's a new episode. It's like I get to look forward to that. So that has been something that's definitely been like enjoyment to me. I'm going to go into Anil, which is a purpley green shifty shade. And I know if there's any of the trolls that are still around from when Keemstar decided to say that I deleted my tweet when I didn't. Yes, I do watch H3. And I do enjoy the content. So, I mean, I guess that means that the tweet that's still up is deleted, right? Anyway, I don't really know anything about them. I don't know much about Trisha. Like the only thing that I know about Trisha really, aside from like watching Dustin Daily and The Viewer's Voice, is like kind of what they talk about. But like I've learned some stuff about Trisha on the podcast and I felt like that was quite interesting. It's just to me that podcast is like really interesting. They talk about stuff and like, I don't know, it's just very eye-catching to me it's fun. I'm just taking some more Crown Jewel to get it nice and blended with that other shade. So it's seamless, but it's also like a big shift. And I'm patting Crown Jewel over that and kind of doing a little baby blend. So now, we're getting close, I'm going to put my shimmers away and I'm going to go back into the blends palette just real quick. I'm going to take my ColourPop E10 brush, go back into Nevermore, and just kind of run it along the edges of that shade to get it blended. And then I'm going to go into my dark blue shade and do the same thing, but just don't take it very far at all. Just kind of have a nice little transition from the dark to the blue to have a nice little mesh with that Cleona shade. And I'm going to take that brush and take that dark blue and just round that off. So now I'm going to take my Sigma eyeliner EO5 brush and a little bit of that dark blue shade and really focus it on the inner corner to create a little bit of depth. I'm tracing out the blue shimmer. Alright, so this is the look. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my face, get the fallout off, go to the rest of my face, and I will be right back. Alright, so this is the finished look. What do you think? I feel like the Ice Queen. I love it. The blue just, I don't know. There's something satisfying about blending blues. And like I said, you can't tell me one thing when I have Crown Jewel on my eyes. It is 100% that amazing. And I feel like I'm unstoppable. But anyway, I don't want to keep here too long because I know last week's video was a train wreck and I'm still trying to get back into the swing of things. So I do want to thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs it down. I don't care. It's engagement. If you would like to keep up with my awkward face and shenanigans, please subscribe. It would help me out a lot and I would so appreciate it. But while I'm not on YouTube, if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, I'll have my Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook page, all that good stuff down below. I would like to thank you so much for watching and I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye!